You ever have one of those moments where you realize your entire world is about to flip upside down because someone decided they could just take what's yours? Yeah, that's how this all started. The day a woman named Patricia Walsh, the local HOA queen bee, stood on my porch, legal docs in hand, and told me my late brother's lakeside cabin wasn't mine anymore. 30 days to vacate or we'll force you out. Her words. And all because I dared ban her son and his friends from turning my brother's memorial garden into their personal party zone. She was smiling too, one of those tight fake grins that never reaches the eyes, all while her golden boy had just stomped the life out of a 20-year-old garden my brother planted in memory of his own lost years. So picture this, I roll up that Saturday, hoping for a little peace after a long week, maybe sit by the lake and breathe for a while. Instead, I find the place looking like a hurricane hit it. Every lavender flower crushed, solar lights busted. Worst of all, the little stone bird David carved while fighting cancer smashed in 3 by the water's edge. My hands shook as I remembered the old security cam under the eaves David was paranoid about break-ins after he got sick. I ran inside, fired up his clunky computer, and watched the night unfold on grainy footage. What I saw made my blood boil. 5 kids' beer coolers, music thumping. I show up on camera trying to be the grown-up, asking them to quiet down, reminding them gently that this is private property. The ringleader, this bleach-haired punk, looks at me like I'm a joke. This is HOA land, old man. Go back to your house. But the real gut punch comes after I walk away. He stares right at the camera, smirks, and says, "Watch this. Time to teach the old man a lesson." Then he stomps through the memorial garden, every single flower, while his buddies cheer him on. Not a prank, not teenage hijinks. It was targeted, cruel, and intentional. I needed answers. So I headed over to see Henry, my neighbor, the kind of old guy who knows everyone's business and doesn't sugarcoat it. I show him the photos and he sighs. I warned folks about Patricia Walsh. Nobody listens. She runs the HOA, thinks she owns the whole lake. I show him a screenshot from the footage. There's a black Mercedes parked near the trees. Henry just nods. That's Patricia's car. She was here all right. Suddenly it all made sense. This wasn't a random act. It was coordinated. Sitting on the porch, letter to my brother clutched in hand, I realized the war for this cabin, my last connection to David, had just begun. But why me? Why destroy something so personal? I spent the next morning piecing together screenshots, building a timeline. As a data analyst, I know you don't go to battle without evidence. Then I did something dumb. I showed up at Patricia's mansion garden. Perfect. Mercedes shining in the driveway. She opened the door looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. Gave me the kind of smile you reserve for telemarketers. I tell her who I am, show her the evidence. She shrugs it off. Boys will be boys. You're overreacting. It was just a prank. I push, show her the video, the threats, the damage. Her tone flips cold. You need to understand, I've been HOA president for 3 years. I know the rules. Maybe this isn't the right place for you. That's when the threat drops, move out or else. When I mention her car at the scene, she brushes it off. I drive by all the time. The conversation goes nowhere. Fine too can play this game. I carve a wooden sign, Pilgrim property, please respect, planted at the edge of the lake stain and all. Felt good, like I was finally drawing a line. Next morning it's floating in the lake, ripped to pieces, tire tracks everywhere. And waiting in my mailbox, a violation notice from the HOA, $500 fine for unauthorized signage under Section 12 Bolt C, Lakefront Scenic Harmony. I nearly laughed. She'd written that rule herself. Vague, broad, pure power play. Henry finds me fuming. Told you she'd use that rule. Gave her way too much authority. He'd tried to warn the community, but Patricia had too much support. That night, another party kicks up outside, louder, meaner. I'm sitting at the kitchen table flipping through David's old documents when a beer bottle crashes through my window. A note tied to it, 24 days left, old man. We'll keep partying till you're gone. I realized then this wasn't just about property lines. It was intimidation, psychological warfare trying to break me. I could call the cops, but that's exactly what she wanted me looking like the problem. So I dove into paperwork. Amidst insurance forms and tax receipts, I find a yellowed surveyor's map from 1987. My jaw drops. The HOA common land where Jack and his crew party, all private property. My family's. Not just a strip of beach, the whole lake with boundaries signed and sealed. The current HOA map, though, shows it all as community space. Which means for years, Patricia's been letting people trespass on land she knew wasn't theirs. That's when it hits me. Patricia isn't just covering for her son. She's covering for herself. She's been leveraging community good to expand her power using phony fines and threats to force out anyone who stands in her way. I photograph the survey, send a brief calculated email to Patricia and the HOA board. Found something interesting. We need to talk. Patricia never replies. 2 hours later, I hear sirens. She's called the cops, claims I'm threatening the community. Officer Rodriguez shows up cool-headed, clearly used to HOA nonsense. I walk him through the survey, explain the history. He nods. If this is legit, I own the property. Then Patricia arrives, full lawyer mode, binder and all. She reads off Section 12.c. In a dispute, the HOA can force a purchase at fair market value, which, per their appraisal, is $75,000, for land worth millions. Rodriguez shrugs, stuck between legalese and actual law. Patricia pushes, says it's for the community. But the real play is, clear drive me out, take the land, make it look legit. It stinks. And even Rodriguez can see it. This is a civil matter, he says, code for lawyer up. But lawyers are expensive, and everyone I call says the same, expect 15 to 25K. Just to fight, no guarantees. I'm stuck. Do I sell my brother's legacy for peanuts or bankrupt myself, fighting a rigged system I nearly give in? But that night, Henry shows up with tea, and stories turns out Patricia once fined him over a vegetable garden. She'd built herself a $47,000 stone wall paid for by the HOA on her private property. As a homeowner, you can demand the financial records, he tells me. Light bulb moment. I file a formal request for every HOA expense related to landscaping and improvements covering the last 3 years. Patricia stalls, delays lawyers' privacy concerns. Meanwhile, she buries me under daily violation notices, my kayak's the wrong color, my porch towels hung incorrectly, and so on. Each fine piles up, and soon I'm labeled a chronic violator, which accelerates property acquisition under her rules. It's harassment, but now I see the bigger picture. She's manufacturing evidence to justify stealing my land. I call Henry. He brings over his own records. He's been tracking Patricia for 2 years. Turns out Greenscape Landscaping paid $47,000 for community improvements, is registered to Patricia's own house. He's got invoices for lakefront enhancement that never happened, emails, business registrations, all a front for her embezzlement. Together we build a report, every dollar, every fake invoice, every project benefiting only Patricia. We call an emergency HOA meeting. 42 out of 47 neighbors show up. Patricia runs the meeting, smug as ever, announcing the positive resolution, the $75K offer for my land. I take the floor project, the security footage, survey maps, and greenscape records. The room goes silent, then erupts. Patricia tries to shout me down, but I click to the next slide, her home address on the business registration. Henry stands up, documents in hand. She's been stealing from all of us. Patricia finally cracks, admits to using funds for her service, just as Officer Rodriguez, who Henry invited for security, walks in. Within 2 weeks, Patricia faces criminal charges. Jack gets hit with community service pays for the garden he destroyed. The HOA boots Patricia, elects Henry interim president. I keep the property open, a section as a memorial for David, and for the first time in months, breathe easy. 6 months later, a letter arrives from Patricia's lawyer. She's appealing her conviction, threatening to sue me for defamation. Some folks never learn right, but as Henry says, never underestimate the quiet ones. We might just be the ones to expose your secrets. So tell me who's really right here. When is standing your ground about justice, and when does it tip into obsession? Drop your thoughts below. What would you have done? Does community ever justify stealing a man's legacy, or is there a line that should never be crossed? I'm all ears, because if this story proves anything, it's that sometimes the real fight isn't over land, but over what we're willing to let go of and what we refuse to surrender no matter who's knocking on our door.